So the T app promised to be a whisper network to keep women safe from dangerous men. Instead, it became Exhibit A for why vibe coding, shipping AI-generated code without security reviews, is creating a ticking time bomb in our industry. Let's dive into the security nightmare and what it means for the future of software development. Today I'm breaking down the T-app disaster that's making every security expert I know lose sleep. Because this isn't just one app failing. This is a future of software development if we don't wake up pretty quick. This is what we have been trying to warn against with vibe coding for a while. And I've been getting blasted a lot for saying I hate on AI, but I'm just trying to be a voice of reason here. This is the kind of thing that executives have been terrified of. Let's dive into this today. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, picture this. You build an app to protect women from dangerous men, but instead you just handed every predator on the internet a searchable database of 72,000 women's driver's license, selfies, and exact locations. So how does a safety app become the most dangerous thing these women ever downloaded? How does vibe coding, where developers just ask ChatGPT or other AI systems to build an app and ship whatever it spits out, and this turns your Firebase bucket into a public buffet for hackers. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit here today, because T, spelled TEA, which is like give us the tea, right? It is an app that was vibe coded, and it positioned itself as the ultimate safety app for women, a place to share warnings about dangerous men that they'd encountered. The app required government ID valid verification and selfies to prove users were women, creating an exclusive safe space. Now, within weeks, it skyrocketed #1 on the App Store with over 4 million users who trusted it with their most sensitive information. But behind the scenes, someone had used AI to generate the backend code without any security review or understanding. The result was a Firebase storage bucket with zero authentication, literally a public folder anyone could access with the right URL. The breach exposed 59 gigabytes of data, including 13,000 verification selfies and IDs, plus tens of thousands of user-generated images. Now, the app itself was vibe coded, and vibe coding is when developers rely on AI tools like ChatGPT or others to generate the code without rigorous security reviews. It's like asking a chatbot, build me a dating app with selfie verification, and shipping whatever code comes out of it. Now, the original hacker noted that the T's Firebase bucket was configured by default to be publicly accessible, lacking authentication. This approach prioritizes speed over security. Developers get to have functional features fast, but they miss critical vulnerabilities. So research shows that 48% of all AI-generated code contains exploitable security features, yet startups keep shipping it to production. So I've been trying to warn people about this with vibe coding. It's great for if you want to do proof of concepts, if you're a product person and you don't do coding and you just want to come up with something to show somebody quick, if you want to come up with a prototype. Vibe coding is great for this, but it's never meant for production. And this is exactly why. So let's kind of dive into this a little bit more and look at some of these and see what's going on here. So let me grab this really quick and get these set up. All right, so private messages on T, the anonymous dating app here, were exposed in a recent data breach. So the data breach at T-Apps used to review men anonymously was bigger than initially reported. Direct messages, which include sensitive topics, were accessed by a security researcher. A T spokesperson confirmed to Business Insider that some direct messages or DMs were accessed. So the interesting thing about this is the data breach was 72,000 images, and we talked a little bit about that. Now, a security researcher told Business Insider that he was able to access more than 1.1 million private messages between T users, including intimate conversations about such topics as divorce, abortion, cheating, and rape. Some chats included details such as phone numbers and locations to meet up. Now, he goes on to say and kind of give a little bit of background, and I want to kind of go into a little bit more about the background of this, right? So, and this is another report that says that the leak worsens with a second database. So they actually found two, right? The T-App data breach grown has even larger leak with the stolen data now shared on a hacking forum, and second database discovered that allegedly contains 1.1 million private messages. Which is what we were talking about here. So the user shared a Python script that could be used to download the data from now secured storage bucket. And in total, over 59 gigabytes of data was exposed in the leak, with T confirming this in its public statement. Now, the platform states the selfies were not deleted as expected to comply with law enforcement requirements related to cyberbullying prevention. So all of that goes back to the point with T is that T was written as a vibe coding app, right? It was an app that was written by its founder. So this is Sean Cook, who was the founder of T, and he created this dating service for women. Now, he did not have enough formal training, right? It looks like he took a 6-month coding boot camp, and obviously I'm not against coding boot camps because we teach people here in coding boot camps. But this should not be the limit of extent of which an app gets a security review before you're handling this level of sensitive data. This is not just PII data. This is crazy level of PII data. And so to leave this wide open is a huge concern. Now, I want to kind of go through this one because this post, I think, actually gives the best background to it, right? Vibe T app was that positioned itself as the safest app for women just leaked this many. The T app was designed to protect women. Instead, it exposed all this because someone forgot to secure the storage bucket. Literally no password, no encryption, no nothing. The crazy part, this wasn't some elite hacker attack. It was basic negligence, amateur AI generated code deployed at scale without security review. And this isn't just an accusation. The T company has been bragging that they built this code built the app using vibe coding, and that they were able to ship it quickly to get out to market. And so not only did they catch news cycles with this, but they obviously attracted some hackers as well. So the prompt, build a dating app with selfie verification, right? Output, Firebase bucket wide open to the internet. Obviously, it was a little bit more than that. But now the data is circulating. So what went wrong? AI built code with no guardrails, misconfigured Firebase again, mandatory ID uploads was never deleted, or at least moved into a secure location. The code absolutely should have bounced. It should have hit this location and then bounced into a secure location. If you need to be able to keep this stuff for law enforcement, that's fine, but it needs to be moved off to air gap or something like that, right? Viral growth with zero time for audits and a growing trend of dev shipping based on vibes, not security. This isn't a data breach, it's betrayal. Okay, so I get it. He's being a little dramatic. But my point here is that I'm with this guy here. A growing trend of dev shipping based on vibes, not security. This is the big overlying problem that I'm seeing here, folks. Everybody's telling me that I'm hating on AI, but let me tell you guys, I'm an AI realist, and I'm an AI realist for a reason. I'm an AI realist because this is the kind of stuff that we're getting when people don't think about the consequences. They just think, oh, I can have it write this code for me really fast. And they jump in and they do this, and then this kind of thing happens. Now, Google's Firebase is actually a really solid platform when configured properly, but AI code defaults to the most permissive settings because it's just trying to get it to work. T stored sensitive user data in a cloud database without any authentication. No passwords, no encryptions, just a publicly accessible storage bucket. Like, this is like this is worse than storing your passwords in a file called password.txt. There was a hack on Sony, I don't know, years back, but literally as the hackers got in there, they actually found files that were publicly accessible that said password.txt, and then they were able to breach the network because of it. And that's a true story, by the way. But this is even worse because they didn't even have passwords or encryption. It was nothing. It was a single URL that hackers were able to find by looking through the app, because if you go through the app, it's going to show you which bucket it's pulling data out of. And then all they did was go pull open that bucket and bam, 50 gigs of sensitive data. A single URL led directly to thousands of private images and documents that should have been locked down tight. One of the very first things is if you're going to store images up in the cloud, you then bounce it, right? And this is so, and that's one of the like 101s, right? But again, somebody with a background of experience. I've been building software for over 25 years. Some of these things are things that I just take for granted at this point. And my developers who work on our teams, who we train in our coding boot camp, and then go on to our consulting firm to work with clients, these are the kind of things that we teach with basic things. This was not a sophisticated attack. It was basic negligence that any high school level hacker could have figured out. The misconfiguration was so obvious that 4chan users wrote Python scripts to automatically download everything. Now, T claimed that the data was legacy from before February of 2024, but leaked images shows timestamps from 2024 and 2025. Now, if you have systems that you're a little worried may not be totally secure, or you have systems that aren't connected, reach out to us, because here at Startup Hack, our specialty is connecting systems and making sure they're secure so that your company can work like a well-oiled machine. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer. Now, when you generate code with AI, you're essentially getting the average of all code that it's seen, including insecure code. So a lot of things, like I write a lot of code out there that's code samples that I post into a public GitHub repository, and it won't have passwords, or it'll have passwords saved in it because it's meant to just be a simple sample example. See, AI takes this stuff, scrapes it, and learns against that. So it's not learning against all the best security practices. So AI models suggest the most common configuration, which for Firebase means publicly accessible by default. Developers using AI often don't understand the code well enough to spot security issues like this. Georgetown University research found that 48% of all AI-generated code contains exploitable flaws. That's half the code out there. So let me just make this really clear. I'm not against vibe coding, but it should never reach production. Vibe coding is good for prototyping. It's good for design discussions. It's good for, if you're a product manager and you don't know code, but you want to generate a really good product design so you can demo it really fast and then get buy-in and then have the development team either take that and review it. But generally, most cases, they're going to take that and they're going to rebuild it with production level code. So, but yet 25% of Y Combinator startups right now are using AI for their code features without any developers to review it. So the irony is that AI could actually help with security reviews, but developers skip that step to ship faster. So T required users to upload driver's license and selfies for verifications. And this is the most sensitive data possible because you've got the ID and you've got the human face. You've got both things right there. It'd actually be easy to take this and then exploit and use that into various other things that are trying to do the same level of verification. So this shows how vibe coding can create products without considering the full data lifecycle and compliance requirements. Now, T's explosive growth from 0 to 4 million users in weeks meant no time for proper security audits. The startup mentality of move fast and break things didn't really work out for him right now because now there's a class action lawsuit gearing up against the owner. So T's success on the App Store made it a high value target just as security flaws were most exposed. So 4chan users discovered an exposed database hosted on Google's Firebase platform belonging to T. The discovery post read, driver's license and face pics, get in here before they shut it down. Right? So they posted out on the web because that's what hackers do. So within hours, automated script would scrape the entire database and shared torrents of the leaked data. Now, once the data hit decentralized platforms like BitTorrent, it's become absolutely impossible. That cat's out of the bag, right? This demonstrates how quickly security failures can spiral into permanent privacy violations. So T's breach violates privacy laws in multiple jurisdictions, especially for Australian users under their privacy principles. The company now faces potential class action lawsuits from users whose data was exposed. European users are affected by breach that could trigger GDPR violations of up to 4% of global revenue. The legal liability from this single security failure could destroy the company, and I'm predicting pretty much guaranteed will destroy the company. Vibe coding might get you to the market faster, but it can also get you into bankruptcy court or worse, even faster. Now, T's initial response was filled with corporate buzzwords and accountability theater rather than transparency. The statement reads like it's been copy-pasted from a privacy lawyer's checklist. No apology, no clear plan, no accountability. They claim the breach only affected legacy data, while leaked files showed that stuff as recent as 2025 timestamps. So I'm not really sure how legacy this was, especially if the app is that brand new. The company tried to downplay the severity by calling it an unauthorized access rather than a massive security failure. So this type of PR damage control often makes the situation worse by eroding trust in the company's transparency. This company has no path forward. There's no way this company is going to... Anybody who would still upload sensitive data to this company afterwards has their head stuck in the sand and clearly isn't paying attention. So T isn't an isolated incident, though. Unfortunately, they're being used as the poster child for this, but they're not the isolated incident. It's part of a larger pattern of AI-generated code creating security vulnerabilities. Now, earlier in 2025, Replete's AI agent deleted their entire production database, a company's entire production database during a vibe code session. Now, my question there also is, why in the world did the person who was running it give the vibe coding session the production database? That would stand without logic, right? Slop squatting is another AI-related risk where AI suggests packages that don't even exist, and hackers then create these fake packages and then supplant it into places where AI knows it's going to pull from, just so that they can then use this to inject into people's codes. The democratization of app development through AI creating more security issues faster than we can possibly address them. This is the reason why vibe coding is fine if you want to be able to play around with coding. It's fine for a lot of use cases. However, it does not replace real software development practices, which include code reviews, which include security reviews, which include platform analysis, which include a lot of different things. So in my 25 years in software development, I've never seen security vulnerabilities scale this quickly across the industry. For 25 years, we've made progress about teaching developers about security vulnerabilities. And yet over the last 2 years, as vibe coding has started to become a thing, it's been thrown out the window. The solution isn't banning AI coding tools. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying AI coding tools are bad, but I'm saying you can't skip fundamental software development practices just to rush code or just because you think you've got this new fancy tool. It's like giving a bazooka to a 5-year-old. Do you think they're going to blow up a car? Of course they're going to. That's what is going to happen. This is exactly what's going on. AI assistants should, software development still needs to be followed in best practices. Every AI-generated application should undergo mandatory security audits and should be reviewed by real software developers. Platforms like Firebase should default to actually forcing secure configurations rather than defaulting to open. I can't think of a good reason why any Firebase should ever be left unsecured. There's literally not a good reason for it. Developers using AI tools need security training to understand what generated code looks like and actually does. The TAP disaster should be a wake-up call that vibe coding without security review and without real software development practices is literally the definition of playing with fire. Now, if your company has systems that aren't connected, reach out to us because we can help you work to maximum efficiency. And if you know there's problems with security in your org, reach out to us because we can help you address these problems. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to have a great conversation, so make sure you leave a comment down below. They all get answered personally, every comment. Try not to skip everyone, and I never delete a comment. I get people accusing me of deleting comments. I don't delete comments. Why would I? That would only hurt the algorithm. Like, I love your comments. I love to hear your guys' interaction. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. And here's some great information about some of our services. Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment, perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer.